If you've been using a smartphone, a computer, or already anything digital, you're very familiar with time spent waiting. Waiting for websites, waiting for games to load, waiting for Instagrams downloading those precious pictures of your friends getting wasted in Ibiza. Waiting is embedded in all digital products, and how these products make us wait is more important than the wait itself. Well, Amazon 10 years ago made an experiment, and they found out that by adding 100 milliseconds to the latency of the website, they lost 1% of sales. Google also made a similar test, and they found out that just by adding 0.5 seconds to their load time, they lost 20% of all traffic. So yeah, in the digital world, time really is money. Some years ago, passengers at the Houston airport were complaining about long wait times at baggage claim. And so the airport started hiring more staff to reduce the wait times. But the complaints did not decrease at all. And so the airport changed its approach and took a different direction. They made sure that baggage claim was the furthest possible from the airplane, making people walk 6 times as long, giving the airport time to handle the bags and have them ready when customers arrived at baggage claim. And this dropped the complaints to almost zero. Also, ever wonder why most elevators have mirrors in them? This started in the 1940s to keep people occupied where they were riding to their floor, as the elevator was super slow. And so what does this mean? This means that the psychology of waiting is more important than the wait itself. And now let's get to the problem. Our beloved apps need shit from someone else. Either they need to download stuff from the internet, or they need the resources from the device, like loading those 8K textures in Call of Duty before you get wrecked by other players. And this happened from the dawn of computing in the 1970s and 80s. And so the first thing people started to do was just say, hey, let's just tell the people how long they have to wait. That'll work. But knowing how much time it will take to complete an operation is something that is very hard to do. Your device might slow down due to another application conflicting, the network speed is always changing, and deciding which algorithm to use to define the wait time is another topic in and of itself. If you want to go deeper into this, I suggest you this video by Tom Scott. And how many times did you wait for a progress bar to finish only for it to be stuck at 99% for 10 minutes? So the problem with this method is that it creates an expectation. And this can work for moving some files in your computer in the background, but in our modern digital world, in the world of smartphones, in the world of websites where we are actively looking at the content and want it to load immediately, this simply cannot function, because even a 1 second delay, a 1 second miss on that promise, and the trust with the app is broken. Plus, the way we interact with our devices today is very different from the past. We take out our devices around 80 times per day on average, and we use it in a very fast way. We load up different apps, we load up different websites, and the interaction is just much shorter. And so what is the solution? It's one of the things that we look at most in our daily lives. No, I'm talking about the dreaded spinning wheel. Wheels, bouncy things, triangles, squares, whatever. You get the point. In the 1980s and 1990s, the first user interfaces were built with a design approach called skeuomorphism, which means mimicking the real world to give meaning to the digital world. That's why the save icon is a floppy disk. That's why the trash can is a trash can. They have to create something that conveys waiting, and what better than the spinning hourglass? And over time, as we got more used to digital products, we moved away from skeuomorphism to something more modern and more sleek. And that's where we encountered spinning wheels, spinning circles, and all that beautiful kinds of things. The spinning wheel is omnipresent in our daily lives. You see it dozens of times per day, and it still kinda sucks. First of all, the spinning wheel is limiting the interaction, meaning that in most cases, you're not able to do anything while you're waiting. You're not able to interact with the website or with the application. And when the wheel disappears and everything loads, then bam, you're instantly catapulted into a new screen, a new experience. And so not only you are waiting for something to happen, but then your brain also has to take time to understand what is on the next screen all at once. Spinning wheel puts the focus on waiting. It's the official symbol for waiting, and it puts your brain in I am waiting mode, please hurry up. And if you want just one part of the screen, forget about that. You have to have everything loaded, because that's gonna give you the best experience ever. But then this guy comes around in 2013 and he introduces a new idea, a new concept that would replace the spinning wheel in favor of something new, something that ended up being adopted in most of the modern big tech products that we use every day. Think about YouTube, Netflix, LinkedIn, Google Photos. They all use this. And this new concept is called skeleton loaders. You've seen them for sure. They are these gray boxes, gray outlines of the content that is being loaded. Sometimes they are static, sometimes they have animations in them. And when tested against regular spinning wheels, these skeleton loaders make people seem to wait less. Maybe the wait time is the same, but people are perceiving apps and websites to be just faster and more responsive. A skeleton loader doesn't put the focus on waiting, but it puts the focus on what's to come. What is the content that is gonna magically appear in these gray boxes? What YouTube video is gonna replace that gray box, or what LinkedIn post about people congratulating each other is gonna appear instead of that gray rectangle? Your brain is now occupied defining the hierarchy of things that are gonna appear. And if you're in a rush, then congratulations. The fact that the loading is modular and different things can be loaded at different times, make sure that you can interact now with the page. Maybe you didn't need the feed to load in your LinkedIn page, you just needed the side menu. Let's make an example with Google Photos. I scroll back, I see these gray boxes, but maybe I already know that I want that one video of my dog doing weird shit. So I just tap on it, it's still loading, and I can just wait for that specific thing to load up. But let's think about the future for a bit. You might think, okay, we're getting faster storage, we're getting faster networks, we're getting more computational power. I mean, in the future, everything is gonna be instantaneous, right? The reality is that the faster our chips and our networks get, the more stuff we wanna do with them. For example, we increase processing power, we increase network speeds, and now let me just quickly upgrade from 1080p to 4K because just it looks a bit better, you know? That is great, that is fantastic, that's the power of innovation. For example, I think the next big class of devices that's gonna come up in the next years, in the next decade, is gonna be AR, augmented reality. Glasses, maybe eventually contact lenses, I don't know. But AR requires a huge amount of computing power, network speed, or a combination of both. You need cameras to record the environment. You need machine learning to transform this environment into a vector space. You need rendering power to render 3D objects in this space. You need a lot of things. And if you do it locally, you need a lot of power locally. If you do it on a server, you need a lot of network speeds to make everything seem seamless. And this is a very hard problem to solve. And even though future devices will have a lot of RAM, 100 gigahertz and 6G networks, they're gonna have load times because the thing that we wanna do, the task, is very hard. And so managing human impatience is a problem that we'll have to deal with, I think, forever. And knowing how to optimize this from a psychological level is very, very important. Will we see spinning wheels on top of people's heads in augmented reality in the future? I don't know. But one thing that I'm sure of is that we will complain that our 100 gigahertz, 70 core, 20 terabytes, 6G smart AR glasses are too slow, and we will just keep complaining about them. If you like this video, consider subscribing to the channel. I put a lot of passion into all my videos, and here is another one that you might enjoy.